Frost on the flip side is actually going to leave the Nidalee open, which I imagine is the initial pick here. But the Lily has really risen in priority in the LCK, has been a top-tier pick in the LPL as well, and obviously there is a pretty big divergence in playstyles, but the relative strength of picks often holds. And then Ashe and Kalista, neither of which should be a big surprise. Particularly the Ashe, to me, is I truly believe that Barrel has brought it back to everyone's attention, that that's a thing that you can do, as it is going to be at a Aurora that did make it through. We don't know if this is going to go to mid or top, most likely to Bulldog, but we'll see if they actually stick with that.
Yeah, Bulldog was the first one to play it, the first one to get a win with it, and looked pretty good on it last week, as FAKER also played this last week as well, and that is a Diana. Imagine if it was both of the Wind Bros and Diana. That would be really funny. Sejuani going to be the lock-in here. That is a lot of synergy in a 1-2 package here for T1. Of course, the Yone could be going towards the top side, but I'm scared, Chronicler, because that is Cuz's Nidalee. And do you know how many times he's lost on Nidalee?
I do. How many? 0.
Yeah, not many.
It's 0 times.
If any.
Split.
Yeah, it's a rough time.
When it comes to the 2v2, not the best combo here. Aurora, as strong as she is, doesn't necessarily have the most amazing setup for Nidalee. I gotta say though, Nidalee Ezreal, that feels like a great one too. For T1 though, having the Yone and Sejuani combination I think is strong because one, it's a flex. I think that FAKER has looked better in terms of where he was on the map, but I think mechanically his Yone, a couple of Q misses didn't end up working out. Ults were kind of all over the place. But I am happy to see a Sejuani picked specifically with a really strong melee laner. And it can go towards top, it can go towards mid. Some of these more creative picks, something like the Leona is still available. And I think this is a really good call. This is a blind Gnar, right? There is going to be the counter pick opportunity unless they want to flex the Aurora at the top. But I think T1 has also made the call that's not the case with the Cassante ban. And using Carry as champion pool is a really solid call because there is a lot of champions that Ando could have played that could have made it really hard if you lock like a Leona, for example.
Well, the Karma is being considered. Ezreal Karma is something that they have looked very good on, but Leona is still up, and they're going to go with that one instead. Now, Renekton is available and could theoretically be an option here, but instead it looks like they are going to move the Aurora towards the top side of the map.
No, you can't.
No, I love this.
This is
IP. This has got to be it. Or something like that. This is fine too. Pick your poison there, Dudu. He's got a lot of pretty good options, but I mean, Nidalee Renekton on Dudu and Cuz, like these two have been the backbone of this team, and they can really get them off on the right foot. They managed to layer things correctly. Now, Carrier with counter pick, thinking about a Rel angle, just needs some engage. Rakan, I think, would be fine too.
Either work. There is not necessarily as much AoE outside of, I think, specifically the Aurora we saw in the previous game. What can happen if you pick a Rakan into too much AoE damage? The Rel, very, very obvious as well. Goes together really well with MF specifically because you have so much AoE CC to set up for these big plays. And for the KWANGDONG Freaks, I do think the Renekton can struggle in the 1v1 if he does get set behind. But this is basically what amounts to a pick, or at least a very upfront burst comp. You can slot a little bit into poke with the Nidalee and the Ezreal, depending on how the game plays out. But if you look at the engage that's available in T1, I don't think you're going to be allowed to do a whole lot of poking. So getting the Nidalee and the Renekton specifically ahead as much as possible, which you hopefully...
Game 1.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Onto the rift for game number 1, KWANGDONG Freaks versus T1. And I'm remembering back, and I'm thinking maybe the reason why T1 didn't take away Cuz's Nidalee is because they're like, well, you weren't that great when you were on T1, so like it should be fine. But I don't even know whether that was true. And they should probably have known that maybe this pick could get ran over. Ona very, very good at Nidalee himself, so we'll see how he can actually mitigate some of the power here that Cuz will have in this early game. Because he is just like, I don't know, he's a different beast when he's on the Nidalee compared to any other jungler, I swear. Like, Cuz is just, he sometimes just has that pick. Last year it was Viego, this year it's Nidalee.
Really is. I'd argue that Canyon his Nidalee feels like it's... What's the best way to put this? Kenya's Nidalee is very smooth, you know, it feels strong at any point in the game.
Yep.
But I think that Cuz is like, he's an actual animal that will invade your jungle, that will put you behind, and that will take over the game. And
Jonas Strong turns the lights off. There's the spear connecting onto Ona. Cuz looking to push him out and will successfully do so. Now he has free reign on this top side. Ona actually having to go back, and Cuz is going to pull the wave to make sure that Dudu is going to get this crash. Is the spear going to land? And is it even possible for it to miss? As, nope, that's going to be the setup, but see, it's going to get pounced on. They try to do it, and Ona is there to save him.
As long as Bulldog doesn't proc the passive, should be a decent trade, as we are expecting KWANGDONG to struggle with his bot lane as Zeus.
Yeah, he's going to hit Minina once again, so he can now harass Dudu out. Dudu does have his Kalbamik. That's going to help that health bar go back up again. Now Cuz with a spear is going to find Ona, steal away the dragon, and Andal's making his way in. They're looking to try and answer that first blood that Ona was able to take away, but the spear is going to miss, and KWANGDONG Freaks going to have to settle with a free leash on a Drake.
Oh, if Cuz is a 1 versus 1, like, Cuz will die as owner comes in, but that said, though, as mentioned, really nicely done by Cuz, not losing his mental, as we know. This guy is very resilient, so ends up getting the Drake steal and the triple grubs. So kind of back on track in that regard with the Nidalee into Sejuani.
Yep. 2.5 camps, the lead here for him, as Faker going to be snapping back. Bulldog just happily clearing out minions.
Oh,
able to get in here. Yeah, knows. There is no vision around here as Dudu is going to set up for it. Ona in here. The spear not really connecting. There is the Mega Gnar to come through, and Zeus just picks up the kill, and now Cuz going to be in a whole lot of trouble, looking to try and pounce his way out, but Permafrost is there. They throw down the boulder. He does get the Primal Surge, but it doesn't matter. Now Bulldog's in trouble as well, because Kerry is ganking the mid lane. T1 just sort of everywhere right now, and they're going to extend that gold lead to 1,000 now. At about 10 minutes is all right. Bulldog's going to see what he can do here as the flash out from Faker gets him out of the circle of doom. And Bulldog not going to find any joy outside of the summoner spell. This wave is going to go down. Cuz still going to be able to look for some grubs here. That is going to be 6 on the docket if he's able to take these. It looks like there's going to be no Sejuani in the area. T1 will be able to collect themselves a dragon. Doesn't feel great. Just grabbing a Chemtech. Still, it's not bad. And Cuz actually...
Another?
Yeah, wanting to come over and contest this one.
They're down a member here. They should know. Yeah, they have enough wards, so they do know that they're down.
Yeah,
one person. Leaper's on his way.
All right, so they do just give this one up. And Leaper in the mid lane will be able to just push this wave in. So Andal looking for Faker. Solar Flare and the Zenith Blade are going to go completely wide. And Faker's just going to continue wandering towards the lane.
Yeah, Leaper trying, or Andal rather, trying to set up the preemptive ult there so that when you go in, you CC, but Faker very unimpressed by all of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to catch him. Should be the dragon going over. And good rotation as well here, actually, from Bulldog to catch that bot side wave without giving up too many resources, catch the wave, and get the dragon as well. Now Cloud,
ooh,
it's
love that.
solid, but really, if you're KWANGDONG, I think you were looking for Hextech. Hextech could have been really, really big here, given the amount of poke that you have available. Obviously, we're always going to appreciate Cloud, but there are
could be a thing, or could be not. Spear going to connect onto Carrier. Faker going to look for an option onto Andal, but he just presses the Eclipse button. He should be okay. Bulldog just trying to bounce around. There's him Mininas, kind of susceptible. As Spear once again connects, but this Rift Herald will belong to T1. True Shot Barrage a little bit late. Is going to do a bit of damage, but otherwise not too much. And Dudu looking to try and grab some local gold, taking down this outer turret. And that is going to be first turret blood going over to the Renekton as well. Actually kind of a big deal, trying to get him back into this game.
Yeah, don't mind the call here. You see KWANGDONG, they were really playing that with 1 foot basically already out the door, going like, we're gonna put a little bit of pressure. If we see a really good angle, maybe we go for it. But we had Leaper also pressuring mid. Guma caught that wave.
And they should be okay.
A lot of damage to come down. Leaper is pushing in mid, as Azrael feels relatively safe. Owner looks to be answering that, but do note, they did get 4 grubs. So at least going to have a little bit of additional pushing power. That's some ultimates gone though. We'll see. Guma just going to pick this up, and particularly when you have your summoners available and when you have the BT, MF just feels like she rules the map, which for thematic consistency I really appreciate.
Yep, I think it kind of works out as T1 wanted to get the first Cloud Drake here. We're setting up for it. The spear is going to go wide. Cuz certainly has been pretty good at making sure the Dragons go over to Quandong Freeks thus far.
Banana Brush.
Banana Brush control comes in. As Faker actually winning out in this these trades against Dudu. Really nice. As, okay, Spear going to connect onto Gumushi into the backline, but that's a great Magnet Storm onto Bulldog. Unable to actually finish him off as Faker ults in, doesn't quite find the ulti, and in fact will just go down. Leaper was right there and grabs himself the kill. That should be Soul Point going over to the Quandong Freeks, but they'll have to sacrifice their outer turret in mid lane in order to get there. Because we'll go on over, collect that dragon. And is it going to be another charge? It's not. As Leaper gets to the other side, we'll be able to poke her in the eye. So, Owner is clearing out vision, that Banana Brush, but there are a lot of waves that need help. And so Quandong Freeks should be able to get this.
Wave needs to be caught. And there, the fact that Andil makes it out and Faker overextends. And we saw this in the previous game as well. Those ults, if he hits it, look at the kill on Bulldog, but instead, and I think mostly towards the miss column as Guma is...
Solar Flare coming in. It's a lot of damage from Leaper as the Glacial Prison comes down. Bullet time is decent. Leaper actually having to get out of the way of that one. Andil's really dead. As Cuz realizing he's not going to be able to find an avenue in, and Leaper is still on the run. Zeus gets in there with a teleport. Does have to invest that one, but this is an inner turret that they could theoretically be taking down. But instead, Ezreal says no. That is going to be that one locked up. Faker now once again going to be ultiing forward. Not quite. It all comes down to whether Bulldog can string together this Cosmic Drive as he's going to hop into stealth. I think Owner actually spotted him just there. We did see the vision, but still not enough to actually save this outer turret in mid lane.
See if KWANGDONG, I think they need to pull the trigger and just start this Dragon, force Faker to TP, and otherwise they're going to lose an inner.
Well, Quandong Freeks, they have started it up.
There we go.
Just throwing a lot of abilities into it. Owner is going to get pushed back. He can wrap around in time, though, to go for a bit of a 50-50 as there's the teleport from Faker. Carrier going to get slowed down here. As in position is Owner. There's the Magnet Storm, not exactly getting the most value, as now Leaper is looking to push Faker away. Carrier is going to be taken down, and Zeus, he will hit the Mega Gnar, but he's not going to be able to stop this soul from going down. Faker is going to have to rebind his soul, and now he's 1v1ing against Sleeper. Meanwhile, Zeus is going to fall down, and the Quandong Freeks are going to win the fight. Oh, Faker taken down, can't unbind the soul in time. And is that just Baron as well?
Yeah, Atlas, that's Soul and Baron to come through here for the Quandong Freeks.
Oh, Gumushi. Have to face check Bulldog here. Doesn't have his ulti, but can still do a lot of damage on this Aurora. Look at how fast he is. It's kind of nutty. True Shot Barrage not really going to do anything at all.
Owner has flash.
Yeah, Owner is still here. This is still really, really risky for the Quandong Freeks. They do have vision now.
Oh, Atlas.
T1, can they save this? That's the question. Bullet time comes in. They're going to try and take it down. It's Guma that takes it. Of course it is. They have to sacrifice themselves. None of the Barons stay up. But if we can't have Baron, you can't have Baron.
Dudu, man. Keep Zeus out of the... So Zeus did TP back in.
He did. He might kill Cuz. That Primal Surge was pretty good. That is going to save him. Yep. Don't have a lot of context for that whole situation there. Dudu is going to be taking an outer turret here on the top side of the map, and the splits continue with Aurora in the bottom.
As you're saying, there is every individual game matters. We are in an insanely close playoffs run.
Leaper is playing real hard. It's okay. Gumushi going to get taken down really, really low. This is 3 items on the Ezreal. He is a big deal. And that is going to be in a turret taken. No Baron, but yeah, still a whole lot of sieging power.
And the rotations, Atlas. Like, look at how quick they are.
It's called the Swift Rift for a reason, baby. And Zeus going to be taking a fair bit of damage, make it rain, but Andil very, very happy to tank that one up. Warmog's already in hand. And so this inner turret is going to survive a little longer. Quandong Freeks really have just taken tempo of this game.
Hard to walk up to mid-wave into an Aurora.
Well, Owner is just going to go in. Glacial Prison does go wide as Faker eats a fair bit of damage there, but the Primal Surge is going to keep Bulldog so healthy. And now he's able to dash forward, finds the circle. Gumayusi is going to immediately flash out of it, and Ona, he cannot press Q to get out of that one. Still, Cuz will be eliminated. They trade junglers, but Faker's going to be taken down, and Dudu is an absolute monster. And that is into the backline. Bulldog, he's looking for Gumayusi, but he stays alive. And he's got the Bloodthirster, but I don't think he's got Crocodile protection. That is not covered in his insurance policy, and there's a reason for it. True Shot Barrage not going to work out. Dudu is underneath a turret, so apparently he'll enter your home as well. Crocodile's extremely dangerous, and Zeus, he's the last man standing.
Oh, I thought that maybe that was going to be enough, but they do waste enough time to at least stave off the game for now. But realistically, this is going to be both the Elder and the Baron going over to KWANGDONG. So T1 going to have to find a miraculous hold, and KWANGDONG, the last game, again, they bounced back. As we take a look here, absorb the initial blow, and then this ultimate from just a game for KWANGDONG would make their chances of making playoffs so much better.
Well, Zeus has been put into a circle with a bunny girl who is favored by the Dragon Lord. And Zeus is just going to have to try and kite it out as best he can. Andel's going to be here as well. The Baron is going to go down in the meantime. So Wallop coming on through doesn't really matter too much at all. And so Zeus will be falling. Cuz should be able to activate it with the red buff. And there it goes. Ona now out of position as well, as Dudu should be able to lock him down. There's Zenith Blade for the setup, and Leaper grabs that kill himself. Faker is in the bottom lane though. Gumayusi was setting up this inner turret in the mid lane. True Shot Barrage looking to try and cancel some of these backs, though. You can see he's going to sail past where Gumayusi was and not going to be able to hit Faker, so he gets back home. But now you've got an inhibitor down on the top side of the map, an exposed inhibitor here in mid lane as well, and KWANGDONG Freaks, they are all business today. It's all about taking this one down. It's into the circle. They go Faker. It's going to be eaten by a dragon. That's 3 on the floor in the blink of an eye. And in the same amount of time, KWANGDONG Freaks finish off the Nexus. They're 1-0 in this series, and playoffs looking like it's in their sights. No, now they get Aurora Nidalee on red side.
Aurora Nidalee again.
Huh. But you do have to give up Rumble, and Rumble is extraordinarily powerful. But this is what happens, and this is what I was saying. They actually just banned the same champions that they did on blue side and said, yeah, that's fine. You just have whatever's left, and we'll pick all the other cool stuff. And I think that they may as well. And Aurora is a possibility for the top side as well, guys, obviously. But it's likely that that's going to go once again into the hands of Bulldog. They really maximize the amount of time to have a discussion. Even
in the game that Bulldog got a substantial deficit in the laning phase, he still carried in team fights. I think this guy right now is looking like just straight up our best Aurora, and giving it to him again when the pick is so clearly, so insanely valuable is a gigantic gambit. And as we have repeated many a time, T1, if they end up losing here, not going to be eliminated or anything crazy like that. But it is going to make their life harder, and if they lose here against KWANGDONG, then that series against BNK, it gets even more pressure added on top of it, and there are a lot of other factors, but yeah. Cuz has got a Nidalee again, Atlas. Yeah, he's 9-0, currently on the Nidalee. We were talking a lot about the Rakan that was also very, very good for Andal, and the Tristana for Bulldog. Those, like the Tristana was banned. That is certainly good news. Okay. The Vi is going to get through. That will be the answer to Cuz this time around. I think gives them a bit more firepower and also holds people on equalizers, which is going to feel fantastic. I like Vi Ari, Vi LeBlanc.
Yeah, I feel like either of those options don't sound too bad to me. Or they could just lock down a high priority AD carry, like a Kai'Sa fits into this composition very well.
I would love an Ezreal personally, just for being playable into Aurora. Not going to be the case. It's going to be the Azir. Not going to make me super excited when it comes to pure pick power, but obviously the comfort for Faker. Azir buffs are going to hit on the next patch.
That's a Lucian.
Yeah, we don't really know. There is, of course, the opportunity here for the Aurora to go towards Dudu. We have seen that played in that matchup, but it looks like Dusante making an appearance.
Just in the composition, but maybe not as much with the Azir.
Yeah.
Let's just see what Leaper is going to take away. It looks like it might just be MF for him. And that is going to deny what Gumayusi played in the last game. He doesn't have to worry about being put in a circle. And he can actually layer a cone on top of it. That's going to feel pretty good. Guma just thinks maybe I just stand really, really far away.
That works.
Yeah?
Like, that's honestly not too bad of a solution. So you can either try to go mega aggressive, right? Try to go and dive together with the Vi, or you can take the
Whoa!
So what? That's
Varus.
We have not seen a Varus in a good amount of time, everyone. That champion has not been at the forefront of the meta. He's also receiving some pretty... I think it's on the next patch that he receives buff. Might have been on this one, because they basically did like a kind of a mini rework.
Yeah, the little mini rework did happen on this patch, where they just changed around where a bunch of his numbers went. I don't exactly know where that kind of left the Varus, because we just haven't seen it, guys. Andal is thinking about the horse pants, and of course we do know that Bullet Time and the Magnet Storm are very powerful. It is exactly what Gumayusi Keria played in the last game. And KWANGDONG FREECS, pretty well-rounded draft here, I have to say, but T1 this time around with a lot more power picks under their belt. I also really like Equalizer and the Chains of Corruption, because you can really lock someone down, and with the fact that they have a Vi for guaranteed lockdown and a Nautilus for guaranteed lockdown, beginning these wombo combos is not going to look nearly as hard as it did in the first game. And that was something that the space brought up as well.
I do agree with that, but I also think that a lot of that CC carries...
Bring us to the final game of the series. Stuart, top of the rift right now.
수환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. And now I'd like to take you on a journey, because what we were going to say is we were getting ready to celebrate T1 qualifying for the playoffs. With a victory here in this series, that is precisely what would happen. However, we are now heading down a darker timeline. So, in order for T1 to not make playoffs, a certain amount of things has to happen. A, they have to lose this next game.
Okay.
That will keep them on 9 match wins.
Yes, and with a...
They will move up to 8 losses.
1 game score.
Indeed. We then require Halma-Life Esports to lose to BNK.
Okay, that one's a bit of a stretch, but
we might need to talk to Peanut about Shyvana and things like this.
Nerfed Shyvana, he's fine.
True. And now it is going to be a little bit of respite as Ona.
Wait, Cuz?
He gets spotted here. Cuz, oh god. We've seen this timeline before. As Cuz gets in, he's not able to steal it away, but Ona is now in trouble. Keria inside the pit. Gumayusi trying to get rid of Leaper here. The spear is going to miss. Bulldog comes down, puts them in a circle, and that is going to be 2 swift kills. Faker going to go down as well, though, and the Aurora is on the board.
And that's kills going to Leaper and Bulldog, Atlas.
Oh, God.
That's gonna feel amazing for KWANGDONG this time around. Snowball early and get to that soul point very, very quickly.
I would agree. I think that this composition is looking a little bit cleaner as far as how it's going to navigate the later stages. Sort of one of those things where you don't see a Renekton and you're like, late game good. Is kind of how my mind works. And we're going to be cantering over, or is that more of a trot? Looks like more, that's a canter, there we go. That's going to be Keria connecting to the wall. There's Bullet Time, and is he just dead? He is. Cuz going to come on over, pounces on down. Now looking for Gumayusi, Spear not going to connect, but they've got a huge minion wave. Guma has to get out of here, he's going to miss all of that CS. Oh no, is he going to miss his life? No, he's not.
Will, fortunately for him, hold on to that, but KWANGDONG, that's what we said. The moment you start falling behind in this bot lane, continued attention towards it. Keria doesn't have flash, that's an easy punish, and the goal goes down to that previous fight at the Drake. Don't even need Bulldog to come over, just Cuz alone. Enemy has been slain. You're like, oh!
Yeah, he's just wishing he was playing Nasus instead, you know, so he could just sit there and continue.
Man, I wish
just
we saw more Nasus. Oh boy.
Oh dear, okay. There's the all-out into the wall. Andal's going to come on over, doesn't even need to press any buttons yet, as the Equalizer goes down and doesn't do too much, and Gumayusi had almost gotten here.
Wait.
Oh, does have Chains of Corruption, and Dudu might actually stick around. Oh, there it is! He's going to charge this one up as Dudu, he gets the shield, he flashes. Is the Ignite going to be enough? Cuz is going to turn up in the Primal Surge. Oh, Andel's also going to survive this one as crashes to get the shield. KWANGDONG Freaks can do no wrong this game. What is going on?
Oh, Atlas, that is a tilter right there.
Oh, they're still looking for more, though. Not out of the woods just yet, as there is Ona making his way in with that Vault Breaker. Cease and Desist is going to connect it. Andel goes down, and T1 not standing for these shenanigans.
All right, tilt averted. Everything's okay again.
Oh, yeah, it's all fine.
That was a little dicey there for a second.
Oh, Faker's in the circle. Bulldog doesn't find the Q, does manage to get some of the other abilities, but the Q's the most important one.
Make sure that they actually get something towards the top side now. A kill for Guma, kill for Owner. And they're still behind in gold, but without it, I think the game would not have been technically over, but would have been in a really rough spot. They still are going to have to find a way to deal with Bulldog, though, because he is, again, getting plates. Malignant is ready, and that early kill has really accelerated him.
Yep, Owner looking to try and pay Dudu a visit, and then possibly head over for some grubs as Carrier's turning up as well. That is going to be the CC layering. Dudu is very tanky, though, as Owner gets himself out from underneath the turret. Carrier not going to get pulled back by that Q3. And Dudu is still here. Still thriving. Feeling all right. Does have his Spectre's Cowl, so he's going to have a bit of that health back as well. As Zeus down towards his bottom side, just clearing out some minions. Cuz wants to be able to deny the 6 stack of the grubs, but I don't know whether he's going to be able to. I don't think he's going to risk it.
So the big thing here is that Dudu has to TP bot to catch this wave, otherwise Zeus is just going to get free plates. But Zeus still has TP, so now there's the threat. If KWANGDONG overinvest into a attempt to deny these grubs, they might get punished. You see Zeus as well, look at his positioning. And the moment they get...
We'll see whether they can actually clear something out. As Leaper and Andel are going to move up. That's Carrier going in. Finds the knock-up onto Leaper. Cease and Desist comes in as well. It's decent layering as the bullet time comes through as well. But Gumiushi's going to survive it. Cuz throws a spear to Narnia, and he's not going to be able to pick up anything. That is just the bottom lane dead.
Oh, Owner with a beautiful read there at the ready was setting up a trap of themselves, and not only do Leaper and Andel walk in, but with Cuz they feel a lot more confident. Heavy investment. It works out amazingly. Guma, that is going to be one juicy back.
Oh,
we are dead.
He might be in trouble unless he does some pretty extraordinarily cool alcove things, as he's going to try and use the equalize, but unfortunately, he is in a circle and he is not getting out. Did do a lot of damage there to Cuz, but he has the ability to heal himself back up, as Owner is going to return the favor by taking down Shelly on the top side of the map.
How does Rel get that kill?
Well, you see...
Andel didn't ignite, like it's Rel of all the champions.
Hooves.
The power of hooves.
Yep, just trampled, you know? As Leaper is going to stand his ground and will be able to destroy that minion wave. Faker getting to work here on this bottom side, just clearing out those minions that are heading forward. Remember, 6 grubs are there, so... Well, only on the ward. Yeah, waiting. Not actually starting up this dragon just yet. And on vision, KWANGDONG Freaks don't really need to worry about it as they're going to go in. Circle does go down. Bulldog immediately turned on and exploded. Andel finds a decent Magnet Storm, but they're still not able to find any kills at all. T1 will wipe them out in this fight. And Dudu is just trying to flash for his life. There is an outer turret here, but Cuz and Leaper are out of this one, and T1 can go for a dragon if they'd like one.
That is going to be the dragon, and I think T1 might be looking for a dive as well. Faker's pushing the wave.
Yep, Dudu is going to turn up, trying to push them back in here. There's the all-out onto Zeus, and Harpoon, with the help of Piercing Arrow, is going to be able to take him down. Faker is finally going to turn up, find some Sand Soldiers to deal with this misfortune, and Cuz he knows that he's dead, he's going to see whether he can take Zeus with him. The answer is no, but at least he gets a flash. But T1, they'll also get a turret and the first Mountain Drake of the game.
And it looks like KWANGDONG get the jump onto T1, but Mountain Drake going to Demazeus.
He is going to get crashed into. Nice spear is going to connect there from Cuz, who does make his way down. Gumiushi is also dead because Bulldog has the ability to put him in a circle, and immediately KWANGDONG Freaks are going to fire back against T1. They might even be able to get some good damage on this outer turret.
Yeah, I'm like, go to Nash. There's no Nash. We're 80 minutes in the game. This is an absolute bloodbath. And just, I think like us with our conversation about apples, felt like there was a moment of respite in this. There is no respite. There is only the fight. There was
no
only
apples,
blood.
only kills.
There will be blood, Atlas. On Summoner's Rift, as Andil Ice Cold just goes for the Hex Flash.
Yeah.
And that is a very big set of kills, because that means that Guma, his bounty gets picked up. Says didn't have a bounty.
Strike going to be avoided with that Vault Breaker as T1 gets some Banana Brush control. Spear almost connecting onto one of the wings of the dragon here as Bulldog.
He needs to make his way over. I don't know if it's going to be in time. I think this dragon is gone. It's more about can they find the fight.
Yeah, they do manage to get on top of Bulldog, who just puts a circle in the wrong direction. Equalizer also just sitting in the middle of nowhere as the Drake is still getting amongst it. But that is just going to be the kill onto Andil. It was in no man's land, unable to do anything. Still somehow KWANGDONG Freaks are the ones with control of this Drake. And Cuz is over the wall, so he's not going to be able to get a smite in there. It is going to be the dragon secured here by T1, but can KWANGDONG Freaks keep themselves alive in the fight? As Spear connects on Gumayushi, but there is no follow-up. And KWANGDONG just couldn't really decide what to do. They will be able to find that little hit onto Owner, who goes down exceptionally low. Same can be said for Bulldog as Gumayushi gets in there. He is going to sacrifice himself as Empress Divide will take down Dudu, and Owner is still alive. That's an ace, because Andil was already dead from before.
Have that play and not be coordinated, and then from that point on, Zeus is just roasting them on the other end of the fight. Baron in the picture-in-picture has been taken, and it's yet another Atlas in this final week of playoffs. We are going on day 1 to a game number 3.
Yep.
Final week of layup to playoffs.
Yep. It's also going to be possibly the first loss for Cuz's Nidalee so far this season, which is a kind of crazy thing to think about because, of course, KWANGDONG Freaks are sitting at a very even game score. So there's been quite a few losses in that column, just none of them have been the kitty.
Banshees is all Guma.
Bulldog is going to put Bulldog into a circle and just take him down. Empress Divide is going to come on through, but Faker is also dead. That is Leaper falling as well, though, and you cannot cross the veil when there is an anchor coming from Carrier still. Spear's not going to connect. Andil not tanky enough. And T1 just have enough firepower with the members that they had left. That's Equalizer to help them take down Bulldog, and Owner is just a carry in his own right. He's 6-0-4 on this Vi, and so I guess they don't need their damage dealers, I'm doing air quotes right now, because they've got Owner. They've got this Rumble as well, who does so much work, and Carrier can keep them in place. That is one heck of a way to reach 1,000 kills, as Owner is just going to come in and take the team fight into his own hands.
Anything done, it's most likely that T1 is going to be able to pick up the Mountain Soul here.
Yeah, Spear is going to break the shield on Faker. He's standing on a ward. Doesn't really matter. They're going to be able to take this inner turret. And the rotations should be pretty comfortable if they'd like to just make sure that mid wave is shoved in, get the KWANGDONG Freaks as far away from this Drake pit as possible, get themselves a Mountain Soul, and then that would be absurd. That is going to be the Chains of Corruption absorbed, and now Bulldog's going to do it again. He bounces to the other side and the other side, and then Gumayushi's going to get out of there. Does use both of his summoners, though, as now Dudu thinks he may have found an opportunity as Owner. He goes in, they're going to turn the fight on its head, but Owner's the first one to go down. There is the T1 follow-up, as Zeus, the walking barbecue, is going to be able to clear them all out. And so Owner's dead, but then he's got the rest of his mates to take care of it.
Gumayushi also staying alive in that one, making great use of his flash, and we are going to a game number 3 here, Atlas.
Yeah, we definitely are. That is going to be the first Nexus turret going down. Carrier is going to also bring Nautilus out of his losing streak. The man was definitely underwater when it comes to being able to win, and is finally going to pop his way out on the shores of Bilgewater today and bring T1 to game number 3 against the KWANGDONG Freaks.
Very, very important game win here for T1. Yes, mathematically, it might one, right? It's going to be the Cassante instead.
Huh.
Wow, we are really throwing things. It's better than the Yone ban, so I'll take that.
I mean, the Tristana is now up and available, though. That's the dangerous thing. And it's something that I imagine the KWANGDONG Freaks aren't too worried about first picking, because I imagine that they'll probably still be able to get it. Aurora is an opportunity, but they could just lock away the Nidalee if they would like to.
Oh.
I think this is pretty smart. You can then go Nidalee, and then if they don't pick Renekton Tristana, you can take Renekton Tristana on 2-3, which I feel would be quite powerful.
That's not bad.
Especially if you can then put a Ziggs in the bottom lane. But that might be getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Aurora is able to be picked away But will it actually be able to win out? I do want to see the Buster Shot interactions if the Tristana is indeed picked up. Ona considering his Lilia here. Will be a lot of magic damage here for T1 if they do lock this one away. This would be less and a lot of skirmishing power if the Viego does come in. Definitely a possibility.
Kind of depends, because if it's Bulldog that ends up playing it, you can just have the Aurora bounce around like a
pinball. Like actually just pinball the Aurora all the way around her little circle thing. That would be very, very funny. I want to see them do it. I want to see them just do Trist and Renekton and just call it a day.
Yeah, if the Aurora wasn't picked up, I'm pretty sure they would have just gone Aurora and Italy Renekton.
Oh yeah.
And they would have been very happy with that. But given that that is not the case, I do expect Bulldog to go back. To remind everyone, he was the guy that started picking Tristana very early on. And in general, Bulldog, for all of his weaknesses, because I do think he is a very binary player, in like some performances he looks amazing, sometimes he looks rough, but his willingness to play new picks has been something that, even though it looks silly initially, has often been, and his team has often been correct in identifying things that end up being absolutely huge. It's going to be Leaper with the Ezreal. Love this. I again want to reiterate, Ezreal is one of the few AD carries that has a surefire way to get out of Aurora's ultimate, meaning that it is a lot harder for her to reliably lock you down. This would give away what the setup is going to be.
This wouldn't.
That does not, no.
That would be interesting. Yone, a consideration once again, much like in game number 1.
I like that a lot more.
will be the pivot. I like that. I agree with you a whole lot more.
It's not even because of the matchup, because I think
an AD carry, allow carrier to have the counter pick option.
So there are two angles that you can go as a result to what most likely will be NMF. Here for KWANGDONG, do you go for the Karma and just try to bully the lane as hard as possible and win from there? As this was banned last game, obviously one of Gumayushi's favorite picks.
Oh yeah, that would be a lot of power. There it is.
So this also creates a scenario where if you don't pick Karma and you end up playing into Caitlyn Karma, you're very sad. But if you pick the Karma and you end up playing into Caitlyn Lux and you make one mistake, you're also very sad.
Sounds like a lot of sad, Chronicler.
Oh, I'll have to see how they play it out. But the downside, obviously, of that is, if you end up... Yeah, I was about to say. So if you end up going for Karma or Lux, or not Lux, but if you end up going for Karma, which is most likely, you have 0 engage. And you do need it. So this feels like kind of a always bad scenario for KWANGDONG, where you're basically just going to sack the lane in the hope that the pressure that Leaper is going to have is going to be enough. That said, if Carry ends up going for... Because it could also just be Braum, right? Like that's still up. We've seen Caitlyn Braum.
Yeah.
It kind of depends on what you want to do, because if you do end up going for something like... I was about to say the lack of engage. I do think Bard can struggle because there is a lot of mobile champions on the enemy team. As it will
going to be Braum.
End up being the Braum, which into the Nautilus obviously feels amazing. Does not solve your engage issue. But you have Aurora, so really, do you need engage when your opponents are all locked into a circle? I think not.
Yeah, you could also just get Faker on a flank angle. He could also maybe just find some sort of wall to set up and then throw everyone into a fight. That might be the way to do it.
It is hard into the as Tristana, though, to find that consistently.
I would agree. I do think that T1 are a little bit lacking when it comes to a little bit of those starting the fight options. I think KWANGDONG FREECS, plenty of ability to sit around and just a lot of things here. Let's jump to the rift for game 3.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right, T1 fans in full voice here, but the KWANGDONG fans always louder than expected. And we are here in the deciding game. This could help KWANGDONG FREECS' playoff chances immensely. Their only matchup after this is against DRX. They struggled to do too much of anything in their matchup against KT earlier on today. Should be a freebie for them in theory. And that would put them in phenomenal standing as far as getting towards the playoffs themselves. T1, they just want to win here and then secure their spot, not have to worry anymore. They will have to face B&K later in the week. And if they can do that with no worries, then that's going to feel way better than if they're doing it for their playoff hopes and dreams. You know?
Ooh, Andil.
Owner is moving down as well. 4 versus 2. Nidalee nowhere in sight.
So crucially, they are denying experience and money to the duo lane here, but they're also giving up a good amount of experience toward the top side. The thing is, though, again, they are getting plate damage down.
Oh, that's the flash over from Owner, but doesn't find the stun. And Leaper just going to give them the old deft thumbs up and move his way over towards this turret.
So
Finds also a bit of extra damage.
Zeus is going to have to TP. Will end up making it, obviously, no opportunity to cancel there for Andil unless he just... Owner, he's taken the bot side. It's not too surprising, though, given that he has a Caitlyn on his team. But again, as you were saying, I do hope that Cuz will grab this opportunity. Faker now TP's back in. Bulldog does kind of still need to back, but at the very least gets this wave in. Cuz is going to start up the grubs.
Yep, I believe full information going over to the Quantum Freaks, and they definitely have it now, as first grub is going to be taken, and so top and bot side trade, and you can understand why both teams are aiming for the options that they went for. T1 trying to accelerate towards some dragons, and it's going to be a triple grub start here, as well as Owner being able to set up for a potential dive.
Oh,
Perry going to find a Winter's Bite onto Andil here, and now Owner is going to make his attempt. Let's see whether they can lock them down, as he does pick up turret aggro. Owner's only level 5. There is the flash out from Andil, and now T1 looking for it once again. The teleport does come in. They're going to be able to kill Leaper, but can they get out? That's the question. The answer is absolutely no. The Gnar is going to clip Carrier, but he stands beside Gumayusi. He's going to see whether he can save him. Dudu and Andil trying to fight this one out. The flash comes out from Carrier, but it's not enough. It's Caitlyn! Gumayusi able to get the kill back, and it's a 2 for 2.
2 for 2, gold, dead even, but this top side wave is going to go into the turret. So a small win TP as well used by
Even less of a thing.
All the lethality nerfs, not what you expect. As Andil is learning why playing Nautilus into Braum is not fun.
Yeah, especially Braum Caitlyn, because as soon as a Winter's Bite or concussive blows is going to go down, it means that you then get trapped. And yes, there is a delicious cupcake, but you also die. And so that's not good. As Andil's going in, whether he likes it or not, Cuz going to come on through, is able to heal him up, but it's not enough. Carrier shows them the door, and they're going to have to take it, unfortunately.
Owner on his way. Carrier says thank you very much, and Andil, those are some crucial missed hooks. Yeah, that is indeed an owie. Also do note, Faker is roaming over, so are Bulldog and Andil, but I don't think they're going to make it in time here. Looks like Cuz is going to have to give this one up. Spear doesn't land.
Oh, Dudu inside the circle here. Zeus just going to press a bunch of buttons. Dudu not going to get hit by that Q. And therefore, Zeus going to let him live, at least for the moment. Flash still down here for Dudu. And Zeus still has his, so just going to put on that added pressure. Quantum Freaks, I mean, it's not over yet, but the amount of pressure that T1 have put on in this early game is pretty colossal. Let's see whether they can get anything back. As Bulldog and Cuz on a bit of an excursion towards the topside jungle of T1.
Cuz towards the top side of the map. Cuz runs down. Demolish is going to do a good amount of damage to this turret.
Yeah, Andil, he has to get out of here. He is going to be able to hook the wall. But the turret is very much dead. And I don't think there's any way that they can actually get back there. So Caitlyn doing her job, rotating around, taking the turrets where she can. And this is where the gold is going to really start exploding for T1. Because Gumayusi is going to just do this with every lane. That's how it's going to go.
It's the Caitlyn game plan. Bulldog has not been able to really make a mark in this mid lane matchup. I think really feeling the nerfs to the early game of the Tristana.
There's a collector done here for Gumayusi as well, so first item is completed. Leaper without a Trinity Force just yet. It's not going to stop the Quantum Freaks from being able to take all 6 of these grubs.
Ooh, okay, so this is the big thing now. What T1 need to avoid is take, like, usually it's the third dragon, but it can be the second dragon as well. So you're feeling great, right? You're ahead, and then you take, like, second or third Drake, and then Tristana gets, like, a turret and a half, because she has 6 grubs and she's Tristana.
Yeah.
Want to avoid that at all costs. So we do have a possible player. Andil is still level 5, as is Carrier, so these supports really been moving around a whole lot. Dragon is being taken right now.
Yeah, it's going to be Owner down there. He will announce the fact that that is what he's doing, but it's going to take a little bit of time to get through this one. And it looks like KWANGDONG FREECS just going to call it off.
Oh, look at that. Faker was even on his way as well. Triple play.
Yep.
Not going to be the case.
Drake going to be taken, and that is going to be T1 now, evening things out. It's another Mountain Soul. So a Mountain Rift a couple of times here in this series. I feel like we haven't had that many Mountain Rifts so far, or as little gold as you would like.
All right, now, objective being started. Both Bulldog and Zeus have their TP available. Both really want to back, particularly Zeus, because he is sitting on a good amount of gold. And I wouldn't be surprised if they just play this slow. Andil is able to actually take that. Gets the heal as well, so not too bothered.
Ooh, Mystic Shot going to connect.
That's
the Glacial Vision not so lucky. Yep, Engage Braum is not really a thing.
Well, unfortunately, it is, but we don't want it to be.
No, well, I mean, it's not, though.
Well, but they try.
Ah, yeah. I mean, in theory, anything's a thing, you know? As Zeus is going to clear out some minions.
You're right, Atlas. In theory, everything's a thing.
Yeah, because it's in the word.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, it was a good joke.
Yep. All right, Cuz is should be left alone for long enough in order to take this one down. It's getting late. Okay, get off me back, Chronicler. That's all right.
You know, I'm happy to follow you into the abyss. I just don't know if right now is the time.
Yeah.
As Dudu is going to utilize these grubs. Do note, first airbot has already been taken towards the bot side, as we did see Guma pick that one up very early as, a punish onto Zeus.
Oh, the Nara is going to be blocked by the ulti. Zeus is going to be able to try and get himself out of here, but you can't dodge that one. The hook going to come through there as well. The wallop comes down. A lot of chain CC. He flashes the spear, and it's just enough to get him out of dodge. Bulldog trying to stand his ground and save this outer turret in the mid lane. But man, that escape from Zeus, I think he did everything he needed to do.
KWANGDONG can really do a whole lot here. If T1 is entrenched, they have to walk past soldiers, you have to walk past Braum.
And he can't really do that. He is a wall.
Yes.
As a champion. We do have the Tristana on the bottom side of the map, so should be able to come on over for a flank angle. But Andil is now gonna have to tank yet another one, as there is the ace in the hole. Ona comes over. Bulldog wants to try and push him away, but there's a nice stun onto the Tristana, able to get himself out of there, but the Heartbreaker moves Ona forward. Still, Bulldog gets the heal, and is gonna be able to keep himself alive. That hook was, I mean, almost good, but it did spell the death of Andil. And Dudu, look at that Naba. It is gorgeous, but it's not going to be necessary because they just can't use it.
He doesn't have flash. Oh, I don't know. They might try to TP Bulldog in. They did use a lot in that sequence. And some of the health bars are low, but they got to use this Naganar. And I don't know if that's the timing. I don't think a whole lot's going to come from this. They're going to try and bully them out. Bulldog is back.
Yeah, Bulldog's going to be able to make his way into this fight. They're not going to have Andil for this one.
Oh, it's not happening.
The spears aren't really connecting. That's a headshot from Gumayushi as Cuz.
Right. Oh my god!
That was kind of cool. He's going to be annoying. They're going to be able to take down a turret, and now Cuz is trapped in a circle. Still, that is going to dissipate, and they are going to be all right. So they're going to be able to trade Soul Point for outer turret, and Andil's life also goes down as well. So still a trade down for KWANGDONG FREECS. But getting that turret was kind of cool.
That was a cool play from Cuz. Yeah, I liked it. It was enjoyable. Do see Owner trying to maybe get this. It doesn't even have Smite. Owner, you're not getting that one, unfortunately.
Really erupting.
T1 also can gift this up, which we haven't really discussed yet. If they don't think they have a good opportunity, as never mind, TP coming in.
Yep, they're not going to be giving this one up. Teleport to come through from Zeus, looking for Bulldog on a flank angle. They will be able to find him there. As Owner taking a bit of damage himself. Faker looks for Bulldog. There is the rocket jump out, and Bulldog with teleport available. His Buster Shot now on cooldown though. So Dudu, he's turned up, looking for a few more stacks onto that Nava. Zeus hops forward, puts them in a circle. Now that is going to be the Drake, secured by the KWANGDONG FREECS, but can they find the team fight? That's the question. Faker goes golden as the house just goes over his head, and Gumayushi takes down Leaper. Cuz is already dead as well, but they do at least save the soul. And Andil might even be able to get out. Oh, just barely. I think he deserved that. I think that was a bit of a mulligan from all
hit being taken here. We've seen this one before.
Yep, they are just gonna do Baron. Keria puts up the door. Kwangdong Freaks are in the area, but Dudu is not. And so this Baron going down lower and lower, but yeah, this is not exactly going the best. Still, can they get into the pit? The answer is no. They are taking down the Aurora though, and T1 need to get themselves out of here as quickly as they can. They'll sacrifice one, but they'll get themselves the Baron. And Cuz not going to be able to chase after them this time around. Might be able Andal has to be really careful, Dudu. Not a lot of Nabar, as that is a very short hook. Andal's going to have to flash. He does so to get himself out of here. Bulldog, this flank angle is very scary as T1 all grouped up. And the health bars on Kwangdong Freaks are getting lower and lower. They're going to have to commit to something as there's the hook. It's going to connect onto Zeus, but that is the kill onto Andal. Zeus down so incredibly low. The Mega Gnar comes in. Faker going to get walloped off to the side. Bulldog has to flash to get himself out of the way. And there is the Mountain Soul. Emperor's Divide doesn't do a whole lot, but that's because his targets are already dead. Leaper gets over the wall, and Gumayushi will wipe him out. T1 now just trying to get the stragglers here as Dudu wanting to chase after Keria, but Gumayushi going to protect his support this time around. And Cuz going to need to try and pounce his way over some walls, and it looks like Ona doesn't even really care because Zest's going to turn up, and Cuz's time is coming to a close here as he does pounce on over towards Zeus. Also keeps himself relatively healthy, but there's that burst that we were waiting for. Zeus going to be able to lock that one down, and it looks like T1 are marching towards the finish line here in this game number 3. A bit of a slow start after dropping game 1. This is looking all but over.
Oh, and it was the initial burst. They are not eliminated upon this loss.
I mean, this was an assumed one, right?
It was, and they can still beat DRX. That's problem.
Yep, that's a hook. That is a dead Andal. There is nothing he can do about that one. Gumayushi just walks up to point-blank range and shoots the Big Daddy in the face. That is going to be that. That might just be Baron here from this one as well. There are a lot of traps they're just not standing on, as Leaper trying to clear the way to get himself over here. Wanting to land some poke as Faker is hit by a spear. That's important, but the Baron is just going to go down. And now Leaper is inside a circle and destroyed. Yeah, he wasn't between worlds. He was just taken out of one. That is likely just it, because without their bottom lane, Kwangdong Freaks kind of don't have a defensive force to stop T1 from pushing down this mid lane unless the minions are eliminated. They could just tank up these turrets though, and that should be able to keep this siege minion alive, as Bulldog will be able to clear out that wave. Just don't know whether it's going to be enough here, as Nexus turrets might need to be tanked, and that could be a little bit of a stretch. But here in the top lane, they're going to be able to take down that inhibitor as well. And I don't think Bulldog has delayed for quite long enough. As you can see, Faker even getting to work. Bottom lane, this is going to only extend this gold advantage further. It's now ticking over to 10,000. And it's getting, you know, we use the word surmountable a lot. There's not a lot of surmounting that I think is going to happen in this game, Chronicle. That's what I'm going to say. Op inhib.
Okay,
Kind of big. And now T1, they are going to be pushing, but Kwangdong Freaks might have them where they want them. Leaper probably shouldn't be frontlining. Don't have a lot of other options. Oh god, okay. Bulldog almost just executed as Faker is going to look for him. Buster Shot gets him out of there as these Nexus turrets going down so fast. They're in between worlds as Owner is going to take Andal out of it. Dudu now in trouble, gets hooked up by the newly constructed Nautilus. And Bulldog goes down as well. The rest of T1, they get on top of Leaper. You can't flash that one, Cuz. And that is the double kill for Gumayushi. The ace comes through, and T1, they stomp Kwangdong Freaks into the ground at the very end there. And they will be able to further their chances and get themselves towards playoffs.